Hello, this is Steve from CCS Cases. Today I'm going to go over a new feature called the report card that we've been having some interest in. So this is a statistics and data menu where you can see how you're progressing in your preparation for the Step 3 CCS portion. So I'm just going to go through each of our different tables and graphs here. So this is just a test account, so obviously the scores are going to be low because it's just a test account that I have here. Okay, so to have how many cases you've completed, so these are all the cases including repeats, and then how many of the cases that you've done. So right now we have 140, so that means you subtract that, you get 22 left that you have to do if you want to complete all of them. And then how many attempts that you've done per case. So in my case it'd be 4.14. Okay, and then this little graph down here, these are the first case attempts. So we feel that the first attempt that you make is probably the most predictive of how you're doing, because if you do it over and over and over again, you're going to do better on that case. So we compare your first attempt versus everyone else's first attempt, all compiled. The data is anonymous. We don't keep track of who gets what. Once your subscription is expired, after 2 months we delete it because we just have no use for that data once it's done. So, but we do anonymously just keep track of the average score for that particular case because it can be useful to people. So for this, for example, case number 6, I got 33%. Was my first attempt on it. Now maybe my other attempts were better, but my first attempt was 33. And then compared to everyone else who's taken this, and we have. We just calculated it as nearly 400,000 first case attempts. That doesn't include repeats. So these are pretty accurate as how the general user base is doing. It's not like this is like 10 cases, okay? So this is a pretty good number here. So, you'd be like, okay, well, I probably need to improve on that case number 6. So you can go through all the different cases, and they do it by category. So if you don't want pediatrics, you can unclick it, and then it'll show overall all the different categories, how you're doing compared to everyone else. If you include pediatrics, these numbers will change. Okay, and then the next graph is the 10 worst performing cases. So these are the cases that you've done the worst on. This is the best score that you've done on these. This includes all of your attempts, and then your best cases that you've done. So in these cases, I got 100 and then 97. Okay, and then it'll tell you the next different categories of your worst category by average score, your first score, and your best score. So in all cases, in this test account, it's OBGYN. So I'd be like, well, I need to study up more on that particular area. And then this is a graph comparing your first attempt versus your best attempt. So how you've improved from the first time you've taken it. And then your average category, average attempt by category. So pediatrics, yours versus everyone else's, neurology. So you'd be like, well, I really need to improve on my OBGYN compared to everyone else. So you have your best attempt versus your average all attempts. So you can kind of compare these to see where you're going. And then if you want to know how many cases to do, this is simple math, but this is just to help you out. Let's say you put in your test date, like it's on November 30th, and you update it, then you'd have 11 days to exams, and you should do 2 cases a day. If you want to include your repeats, you should do 8 cases a day. And then this is your performance over time graph. So every day it'll average your performance, and then it goes up and down. and it'll calculate your average improvement per attempt. Mine is 0, so, and then my improvement per day, I'm getting worse. So I need to get on that. So this is just a quick explanation of the report card, a new feature we've introduced. We hope you like it. It took a lot of time to get all this put together, and thanks a lot.